No intro this week though. I'm just gonna have a rant. You know what? I'm just gonna have a rant. I've had enough. It's the worst weekend of sport for me. Melbourne Storm lose 19th in a row. They're going for the record. They lose to Parramatta. Like that's literally the worst team they could have lost to. Belgian Grand Prix. I sat up for 4 hours just for the race to be called off after 3 laps. Chelsea got done with the stupidest penalty. 1-1. This referee gave a red card when it's for an unintentional handball. I just, you know what? It just kept getting worse. And then Latrell Mitchell, just to top it off, just riled me up. Like, on top of that, Latrell Mitchell and Melbourne Storm, I was watching AFL on Friday and Saturday night at periods of time. That's how bad it was getting for me. Like, that's where I was at on Saturday night and Friday night.
Look, Junie, I think you've got to cop some of those weekends. I feel like, I don't know if Benny can agree with me here, but I feel like Junie, as a sports fan, faces little adversity. So about fucking time you can have a shit weekend, and even better that it accumulates in one.
Chuck,
shit,
you can't say plastic. You can't say plastic.
No, not plastic. But it's just like it annoys me.
Johnny lives in Port Hills in a mansion. Born in Sydney, goes for Melbourne, goes to Queensland, and supports Chelsea.
Like,
I mean, like,
I'm not. We're not accusing you of being a plastic because that's just not true.
I'm just stating.
It just annoys me how little adversity you face. And look, it gives me joy that we fucking ruined it. Probably bumped up a couple of dollars on the premiership odds.
I bumped up. You went from 100 to 1 to 50 to 1. So,
Chuck, there'd be no point being a Melbourne Storm supporter if you wanted to face adversity.
Yeah.
You're not supporting. You're supporting Storm.
Hey, let's just remember, I had to go through a whole season where we played for 0 points.
And whose fault was that? That's not adversity. That's
still adversity. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. It's still adversity.
Yeah, and you're about, when was that? 2010?
No, I didn't.
2010.
Like a 9-year-old.
I cried for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tough weekend, but...
Tough weekend. We move on.
Don't you tell me about a tough weekend.
I've faced a few more tough weekends in our days.
I faced a very tough week.
Oh my God.
But what me and Strongy were debating about was he's upset that I was supporting GWS in the final. Mate, fuck Sydney.
Westy's got to stay West. I'm with you on that.
No, Melbourne's got to stay Melbourne. You're not GWS, brother.
You can't. Nah, just shut the fuck up, both of you.
Nah,
if Strongy's probably gone for them before GWS came in the concert. All right. Like, you know. Yeah.
I'm just not an avid AFL fan, so.
Yeah, but you will be, mate. You will be, and you're going to go to Sydney.
I will be after GWS fucking win the comp. I buy a fucking...
GWS, you're going to get fucking come by Geelong.
To be fair, if Giants win the comp, you can pump that bloody team song. That's a good team song.
That's a
good old team song. What are we doing, top 4?
Can you make that our intro song this week?
All right. Sure. No
and
worries.
Then just do a quick are we record? Oh, we are. So just do a quick skit to a gay porn scene after, because the song in the photo will go hand in hand.
I love how she's going, "Oh, you're recording." Yeah, and then just says that.
Yeah.
It's
a fucking banging.
2 blokes, dual-ended dildo.
Gets you up and about.
It does.
Well, yeah.
That might be next week's little thing. We might look at top 4 team songs.
Yeah.
But this week's top 4 late chokes.
Why is it a choke?
Oh, on the back of Atletico Madrid, they score whoever they're playing, their opposition in La Liga, 95th minute, just a little pass back to the keeper. Yeah, he's just missed the ball and slipped over, and they've conceded an own goal to make it 2-2 in the final minute of their game. So on the back of that little choke, we're going to do top 4 chokes. I'm going to, you know what, Chucky, just whip off your 4. Whip off your 4.
Whip up my 4. I haven't gone specifically late chokes. I've gone just chokes.
Yeah, fair.
And number 4's Amazing Adelaide, 06-07 Ashes.
Yep.
Like you could argue, it was a good comeback for the Aussies, but England choked. They declared like 560 odd in the first innings.
Yeah.
Put up a massive first innings score, and then I think the Aussies like redeclared or got bowled out in the high 500s.
Yeah.
And then like the draw was guaranteed until fucking Warney heard the backstory, like gone up to the boys and gone, we can still win this. I think it's like day 4 and they're bowling, or day 5. They've just started bowling in the third innings, and Warney tears up, and then Mickey Hussey scores like a runner ball ton or something. This is all off the top of my head to get the job done.
That was a freaky one. Number 3.
Yeah. 2020 State of Origin.
Yes.
Just a choke because
that was a big choke.
Not a late choke, but it's just
a gradual
again. But
have I?
Just the disparity in like quality.
Yeah, for sure. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Am I there? Is it all good now?
Yeah, you're a bit
bit shaky. We'll see how it goes. Yeah,
so number 3, 2020 State of Origin. Put it on the list due to the like disparity in quality on the teams.
Yeah,
on paper. Sure. With like Queensland worst team in history, like touted as.
It was for sure.
It was, but we did have Freddie coaching compared to Wayne Bennett.
That is true.
Yeah, and just fucking try and have selective amnesia on that one. Just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. Number 2.
We're 3 straight boys. Number 2, Greg Norman, Augusta, 1996.
Yes,
now,
well done.
Although I wasn't born at the time, you know when Fox Sports had their like dedicated Masters
channel, yeah,
and they like run through the archives. They ran through the 96 Faldo versus the Shark, a little showdown. And Greg Norman shot the course record on the first round, like a 63 or something at the time.
Yeah, 63, and
then 6-shot lead in the final round.
Yeah,
He shoots a 78, chokes, and I think
again, what is happening?
And then the Shark would bogey and
for sure. That's a big old choke. That's a big choke. I wonder what number 1's going to be.
Number 1, a bit more closer to heart. Parramatta Eels 2001, just their season.
Yeah, they did choke in that first half, especially that first half.
It's close, like, still to this day, I know they played 26 matches. Like, Stormer almost got the record.
Yeah.
They're still like 50 points out, but Parramatta scored the most ever points in the regular season with 832. So Storm won't get that unless they put 55 on the Sharks or something.
Oh, so
and they also had a 300-point better. Yeah, and they also had a 300-point better differential than the second best team. Yeah. So it's like, you know, like you could argue Storm this year having one of the more dominant seasons, but they're still Penrith on their tail. And then into finals, they didn't like come out of the top 8 once. And in the first like qualifying final, they put 50 on the Warriors and bounced Broncos out comfortably in the prelim.
Who's this?
Para 2001, like the most dominant team to not win the premiership.
For sure.
And then in 30 minutes in the granny, we go down 24-0, and it's just like the fat lady sung in half an hour.
Yeah,
and I was like,
Chuck was
imagine the history books would have been rewritten. All the shit Para cop wouldn't have copped if they could fucking perform in that big game, and it pissed me off. Oh, and I got a special mention. I didn't add it to the list because I didn't witness it, but called Yana Novotna was up 5-1. Was up 5-1 in the final set in the Wimbledon final and didn't win.
What the heck?
That's a joke.
That is a joke.
But
that's me be
right. I haven't seen any footage of it, so.
If you won that, you'd be with arguably the greatest game of tennis ever.
Oh, yeah.
Well, obviously it's not, because I hadn't heard of it until doing some research. But yeah, that's my top 4. Amazing Adelaide, 2020 Origin, Greg Norman, Parramatta Eagles 01.
Nice. You want to go, String? Why don't you go? I'll let you have it.
All right, I'll go. So, pains me to say, Swans GWS on the weekend. 7, I think they were legit 7 like the 7 shots from inside 50 from a stoppage in play, and they lost that. The New Zealand choking against England,
Bangladesh, England,
the World Cup.
The World Cup.
Oh yeah.
New Zealand choked it a bit, even though England were heading in heavy favourites. I think
at the point in time. Yeah.
At the point in time, the way the game rolled, like the way it ended up, New Zealand did choke it a bit from there. The 2020 State of Origin as well. I also had last year's Super Bowl with Tampa Bay versus Kansas City.
Oh, that's fairly good. I didn't think of that.
I was watching the Kansas City. I just thought like Kansas City didn't turn up. It was a drubbing in the end.
Yeah.
So it was a no-show, wasn't it?
That's my top 4. Yeah, I reckon the worst no-shows, actually, arguably the biggest choke I've ever seen in my life was GWS versus Richmond. I think 2018 or 2018 or 2019. Can't remember the year. But they lost by they scored 13 points or something in the entire game.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Being absent from the game.
Do you remember that was like, I reckon those are the biggest chokes when you're like, not even in the moment, but you just don't even turn up.
Yeah.
It was 114 versus 25 in a grand final.
Yeah.
It was fucked. It was just one-way traffic.
That's a good top 4. That was a good top 4, Strong. All right, I'm gonna go. Liverpool, Barcelona, Champions League semi-quarterfinal. 2 years ago, when Liverpool then went on to win the Champions League, they had to win 4-0. Liverpool in the second leg. So, and then obviously they scored 4 goals. I think 3 of them came in the second half.
Corner take it, Divock Origi.
Number 3, I went also Faldo Norman. That Masters where he had a 6-shot lead. That's a stock one. Number 2, I went Malcolm Butler interception. Patriots defeat the Seahawks in Super Bowl 2015, where Seahawks had 1 yard to score a touchdown to win the Super Bowl, and they threw an interception on the last part of the game. And my number 1 choke. It's the Tigers the last 10 years. I think that's a big old choke in the last 10 years.
It off. You can't argue that.
Serious?
But Junie,
my
argument should be
Charlie.
I think the thought of that.
Charlie, right? Shut the fuck up. Junie, you were dead set declaring war if you fucking disrespect my great club again. You're a little shit fucking second-rate club in the fucking heart of AFL that gets like 10k people to a game. Got no fucking followers.
Hey, we have more members than you, brother. We have more members than you.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we have the 3rd most members.
Do you have the 3rd most members this year?
Oh, 4th. Behind South.
And Para number 1.
It goes Para, Brisbane, South, Melbourne, I'm pretty sure.
But what I'd argue is, Johnny, the flaw is, right, you could argue that the Tigers are just perennially shit, and that they're actually overperforming. I'd argue you could say they're
won a premiership since
bottom 4 side. They're a bottom 4 side playing well to come 9th, and that's all there is to it. So,
Jack, you haven't won a premiership since the 1980s. Just shut the fuck up.
There he is. Yeah, that's.
You were negative 20 years old the last time Para won a fucking premiership. And you were fucking 17 the last time they won.
Negative 15.
Negative 15. So, Chuck, you were in absolutely no place to talk. In fact, You've never watched success for a team you follow in your entire life in any form. So shut the fuck up.
Just think about it. I've watched my team win 2 grand finals, then get them stripped, and then win another 3. That's...
Oh, okay. I've watched the Swans. I've watched the Swans win a grand final and lose 2, and one of them was arguably like the biggest rort I've ever seen in sporting history. I've never seen a one-sided free kick so big as the fucking 2016 grand final.
On the back of NRL premierships, I memorized every premiership winner in the NRL. You can give me a year, I'll tell you won the premiership right now.
Yeah, I'm not bad. I didn't memorize. I just like.
Do you also
got some nostalgic memory from like 01 through, either good or bad?
No, I can go to 1908.
Oh well, that's fucking.
That's weird.
It's a little
I can do every F1 winner as well. Every F1 winner.
I know you can, because Nashi told me you asked him if he could do the ones to the 90s. And you could. And I was like, that's a bit scared.
I can do the ones in the 50s as well.
Yeah, it's like, that's almost like playing a game like that in your own time. It's almost like who can one up each other for like closer to batting for the other team, I reckon. Like, oh, fuck, I can do 95. Oh, sick, I can do 94.
Hey, give me a year. I'll tell you who wins.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Little party trick, that one, Judy.
It works every time. We'll go to give me a dose. Latrell Mitchell, he ruined my weekend from his antics. What are your thoughts? Give me a dose on 6 weeks. Is that fair or not fair?
It's too harsh.
Sorry?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he deserved 6 weeks, and I think like the loading stuff is a load of shit.
Chuck, you don't get, like, before you speak, you need to think. You were supposed to be taught this in kindergarten. You need to think about why the loading rule is in place. And the loading rule is clearly in place to avoid people doing the same thing every week and only getting a small consequence. This way, if you continually repeat and do the wrong thing, you get a larger consequence. So therefore, the idea is to stop getting people to fucking do it. Obviously, it worked. It obviously works.
Yeah, well, I don't think it works. Like, I look back at the Angus Crichton crusher that ruled him out for 3 weeks. That's not even a penalty.
Don't give a penalty.
It's not even a penalty.
It's not that hard.
Like,
just don't do the wrong thing.
What's he meant to do? I know we're talking about Latrell Mitchell.
The Angus Crichton one was frustrating, but at the end of the day,
and he only got 3 weeks because of loading.
Yeah,
couldn't even avoid that.
But the Angus Crichton one, that's just a problem with how they penalise crusher tackles. That's not how
it's also a problem with loading. It is definitely a problem with loading because
it's not, mate.
He didn't deserve a week.
He
didn't even deserve a penalty.
Chuck, they found him to have done a crusher tackle, whether you agree with it or not. Like your justification is just that it's not that the crusher tackle is stupid, and obviously it's not because the NRL is saying it's not. So you're in the wrong.
But Latrell Mitchell getting 6 weeks, I think that's...
but obviously loading had a lot to do with it.
It was so deserved.
Let's remember he also elbowed Nofaluma, I think, and kicked Joel Garner the same game.
Kicked
Luke Garner.
Luke Garner, sorry.
Kicked down at Luke Garner and elbowed Noffa in the face.
Yeah, I think.
I don't.
He's the most defended player in the comp for a reason, Chuck. Like
my concern was like it wasn't late. Yeah, it was bad. The contact to the head, forceful, careless, and high shoulder charge. But like I know it was last year before all like when less of the precaution stuff came in.
Last year, 6 weeks.
Do you remember the Chad Townsend on Kalen Ponga?
Yeah, that was not different. That was so different.
Yeah, but I think it was so much worse. Like
no.
Purely, like if I think the penalties, right? The how long you're sidelined for, it should be purely on intent, in my opinion.
It should be
not the result of the injury. Like I know Manu.
Yeah.
You got to take into consideration some degree.
I know Manu broke his cheekbone, which is like bad, but
no, he fractured his eye socket, and Like
he depressed fractured his cheekbone.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like it's an injury you see in a car crash track.
Yeah, but because he got injured, does that mean you add weeks onto the suspension?
Yeah,
if we're talking about avoidance of this stuff, why don't you penalise as harshly the stuff that don't lead to injuries?
I agree. I agree, but I do think you have to take injury into consideration.
That's my point. So if Latrell does that, Manu doesn't get his cheekbone broken. It takes 3 weeks off what he gets, and
it's still 6 weeks, bro. It's still 6 weeks.
I think in the new laws, like based on what we've seen this year, that has to be 6 weeks. That has to be 6 weeks.
I can't see how anyone could make a sound argument saying that's not 6 weeks.
Well, like if you watch it live, when I was watching it live, I didn't even know anything happened. I thought Latrell was trying to knock the ball down or something.
But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean.
That doesn't mean.
It just shows up at the speed of the game and stuff.
Yeah,
I think
the reaction time he has to pull out of it. And,
I think.
I didn't.
You go.
I didn't see the whole the ref debacle about them missing it. So I've just seen the high shot.
Yeah. So basically, the video ref, they went to the video ref, and he could have easily been sent off after that. But they going to the video ref, looking at all the replays, they still just sent him to the sin bin. That's the problem.
Yeah. It was a send off, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. But to rule out Latrell's season, I know Manu's ruled out for the season, but to rule, I just like if his intent was to injure him,
bro.
But you can't. It's so hard to argue that he's
intent.
He had intent to hit the bloke hard.
Yeah, his intent was to hurt Joe Manu.
Yeah.
I don't, mate. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the amount of times you've trained against your friends or played against your friends in footy, like people you're mates with, no one likes that bloke that goes 100%, does that full game day training because they're a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, well, this is what I thought. What happened? So,
because when you go when you're playing against a team, you don't it doesn't. No one gives a fuck if you hurt someone else. In reality, you don't want to, but you don't care. You don't go out there and try and hurt your mate, and that would be in Joe's mind that his mates with all those guys, and he's just gone and put Joe Manu out for at least 8 weeks.
And the worst bit, he could have once Joe's come up to him, he could have been a little bit more sorry that I've broken your jaw.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a fucking.
I agree with that. The lack of remorse Latrell's shown,
that should get more weeks than the actual incident.
My biggest concern is
the
bunker.
Yeah,
the bunker basically only identified that Joey Manu was badly hurt. Something actually happened when Manu's cheek actually started puffing up.
Yeah,
and then they started to penalise it off that, and I just get concerned. Let's say, for example, a gun player like Turbo puts a shoulder to the head of a rookie player, and then the rookie player stays down, gets HIA'd when they don't need to try and get Turbo off. I feel like milking in the game.
Oh, milking's clearly a problem.
Yeah, and I feel that's because...
But it's also a sport. That's gamesmanship. There's nothing wrong with playing for a penalty because a penalty is...
but I'm saying...
I don't have a problem with it.
It's because the NRL's reffing on what happens to the victim rather than the intent of the player.
I sort of agree with that, with the hard tackles.
Yeah.
But I agree. I found out that when they stay down, they the bunk actually sends them, tells them whether it was a high tackle or not. You know how they wait for 10 seconds?
What about the Murata Kore one on the weekend, Johnny, on Brandon Smith?
Don't ask me about that game.
Although Niokore was bleeding, if nothing happened to him, there's nothing in it. You know what I mean?
But I think there needs to be. I think there needs to be a revamp of how the NRL's reffed.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah. I think it's pretty straightforward. Like, if you've ever copped like a stray forearm in a tackle or an elbow, and if you hit like a vulnerable part on your head, like, you're concussed.
Yeah. Oh, and just from a finishing note for me, I don't agree Latrell's action deserves 6 weeks, but the lack of remorse he's shown, add a few weeks onto that.
I agree.
I reckon 6 weeks is a fair punishment. I think. I don't think he's a cat. I think he's a shit bloke.
He's a massive cat.
Apparently he's not going to get South captaincy next year because of it.
Well, I don't see him as a captain figure anyway. So
it came out after that they were contemplating about
Paddy Walker for sure.
Next year. Oh yeah.
I would have gone Damien Cook for sure. Damien Cook.
I would have gone Cam Murray.
Bit too young, I reckon. I don't know.
Perfect for a while.
Yeah. 7 tackle kick. They're trialing that this week in the NRL. Your thoughts on that rule? I don't think it's a great rule. I don't know if you're not rewarding kickers for taking off time and kicking good kicks to wind down the clock. They're doing too much with the game, I reckon now.
Oh my God. For all the rules they could identify that's the issue, they go, let's just speed up the game even more. You gronks. You got
to understand that rugby is about gaining territory. The league is about gaining territory, position and wrestling momentum.
Yeah, and even that, even just purely attacking kicks, your cross-field kicks, you're kicking to corners on fourth tackle to turn the defensive team around. Or even 40-20s. Imagine this rule's going to eliminate every 40-20.
Yeah, because no one's going to go for it. Just takes away
the risk of reward stuff.
Yeah.
So it just mean every kick would be the same, just to bomb up in the center of the field to the fullback.
I don't know who's on the rules committee. At this point, it's just going to be touch footy with bear huggy. That's what NRL is going to end up like.
Legit Blandies. I reckon Blandies doesn't have a fucking clue.
I think. I don't know if he's
not directly on it, but he wants to change it. He's pushing it for sure in the game, and he's a key stakeholder in it. So he's getting a big fucking say.
Read the room, Peter.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they need to address.
Read the room.
Yeah.
Obstruction milking gives me the fucking shit.
I fucking hate it.
When I remember when Billy Kickout got tapped and it looked like he got shot in the hamstring. Get that out of the game first.
I even think the small
thing. Get the shit out of the game.
The same thing with professional fouls. I don't know if you saw on the weekend when Nathan Cleary knocked the ball backwards and Michael Cheekham supposedly pushed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit. I don't think Cleary went down easily, but just how the game's ref. Contact was instantaneous, and then Cheekham just pushes off, and Nathan just loses his footing and gets the ball. How's that a fucking penalty?
Yeah.
Yeah, you say diving ruins the game in soccer. There's so much more opportunity to dive in rugby league at the moment, and none of it gets pulled up. It's just the shits.
You control them. Oh, what about do you on the back of the Payne House now getting his deal bumped up to 750K reportedly? The players have too much power in player club contract negotiations. Because essentially, the way I ask is that Payne signed a 500K a year deal.
Yeah.
He signed the deal. He knows that it was going to be 5 years, 500 grand a year, and he's signed it. So he made the decision to agree to it, and now he's going, I disagree with what my manager thought. I want the deal upgraded. If I'm a Broncos fan, I'm going, nah. I would be fuming. I don't want Haas has walked into that. He's now getting 200K more. That's a lot of money. That's a whole rookie contract. That's 2 training trial deals for 2 young blokes.
Yeah.
It's a club rebuilding. And I just reckon it's a bit of a rort because I just think if he didn't get it, he'd probably start fielding offers from other clubs and push for an early release. It's just a lose-lose for the club. Club's not winning.
I agree with that. The only thing just on this situation is he's worth about 250, even more than what he's getting now. So
Yeah, but
yes, I know, I understand that, but
you can't. It's like a normal job. If you go to work for someone and you start doing a really good job in the first, and you sign a contract for that time, you can't go, oh yeah, I think we should bump my deal up like 30%, and just push forward and say, or I'm going to leave. I don't know. And from a club where Matto, the gay cunt, has done that.
Don't talk shit.
I will talk shit while he's out on the sidelines for 4 weeks for being a grub as well. I don't think it's bullshit. I would be fuming if I was a Broncos fan. I think $500K, like the Broncos gave Payne Haas a lot of money, and in hindsight, they gave him so much money that if Payne Haas didn't deliver to the level he is now, it would probably be viewed as a shit deal because you've got a 21-year-old on $500,000 for 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, but I think that's interesting. It's hard to debate. I think this incident in isolation, I'm okay with it, but overall, like the Maddo stuff and like that, I think players do have too much.
And like John Bateman left Raiders, pushed for a release, saying he's homesick, and now apparently he wants to come back to the NRL because his misso's homesick. It's like, what do the Raiders get for compensation from that? John Bateman's walked away, gets to choose what he does, fucks the club over.
Oh, it looks like at the Raiders, though, they just treat their players like shit. I don't know, like Curtis Scott as well.
Oh, I don't think Curtis Scott's been treated like shit at all. No.
I think, Well, if it was any other job, I think Curtis Scott would be gone as well.
I think Curtis Scott's going to would have trouble getting a job in real life with his record.
He's 21. Forget he's 21. But that's cooked.
Like he's young, or he's like making a lot of mistakes for a 21-year-old.
No, for like how young he is, the amount of mistakes he's made already.
He's young.
But like you're 21, Shark.
Yeah, but it's not he's been around for 3 or 4 years now, and he's made 4 or 5. He's been in 4 or 5 police matters. That's enough.
But I was going back to your point. I'd argue the player needs a lot of the power because at the end of the day, it's the clubs that
clubs will always act in the best interest of the player, regardless of what happens, because that's how you be known as a good club, and that's that's what you're supposed to do if you want to run a good club. Is you got to treat the players best. I think it's a bit one way at the moment. I think the players are knowing that they can just go for wherever they want for more money at the moment. And the big problem is that clubs are bringing these players up, developing them, and then they just leave for bigger coin. And the clubs that got those players to first grade or to that level don't get any compensation for it as well.
Yeah,
You don't agree, Chuck? You don't reckon?
No.
Think about how many people are just walking out on contracts at the moment if something doesn't go exactly their way.
Yeah, but it's still a massive risk because who knows what other clubs want.
That's fair.
If I'm playing for someone and then my contract talks aren't going great, I tell my manager to go past them that I'm unhappy and looking and agitating for a move. Next day, I go sit down for 3 lunches with 3 head coaches, and I'll get offers on the table.
I look back at the Nathan Brown at Para and probably sooner be Gutho. Their manager demands extreme amounts. Then Parramatta aren't willing to pay for that much.
Brother,
they try and ship around for other clubs. No other club wants that as well, so they have to cop unders. It's a risk. It's a risk to
Chuck, just so you
money.
Because there's a clear misconception in the NRL. Managers work for the players.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's not. I'm saying there's not.
Nathan Brown's manager got him unders now because no other club wanted him for the amount his manager offered.
Resolve that with his manager and go find a new one, but understand that he has to sign the contract.
Yeah, but I'm understanding. My point is the club had a lot of power there. The club had power because Nathan Brown had to force getting paid unders because he thought, "Oh, I'm worth more than this." No, you're not. No, you're not, bruh. So,
be confusing.
It's a risk. That's what my point is. It's a risk. And Gutho wants a mill. He'll end up getting paid unders because no other club will get a mil. Power won't pay him a mil.
You're paid unders. You're getting paid the market rate. Like the NRL represents the market rate. So if you get overs or unders, like you know what you're doing. Clubs aren't just paying overs like for the sake of it. They're paying market rate. Or
I agree. But if someone demands a lot of money, no other club will accept what they're offering, and it will force the player to sign for unders because it just shows they're not wanted by other clubs.
But that just means that the player's evaluation is well off because no one's willing to pay that for them.
Yeah, but it shows that club has a lot of power in negotiation, in my opinion, anyway.
The club can't rip up the fucking contracts, but they can't agitate for a move, really.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we can go on this topic for a long time, but we'll move on. Where should we go into our little hypothetical of the week?
Yeah.
Jake Paul. You want to talk about Jake Paul, and then we'll lead into the hypothetical, Chucker?
I didn't pay for it.
Yeah,
it was a stream option. It was good. Jake Paul actually showed he could box all right. He could box all right.
Yeah, he can do a little bit.
Face his first real test. Former UFC champ that could strike.
Yeah.
Was stumbled in the fourth round by a good shot. Comes back and outworked him, you could argue.
For sure.
Didn't massive shots, but just outworked him. So,
I think if Tyron Woodley was more active, it could have gone a different way. But
because
that's boxing.
None of the rounds Jake won, it was a dominant 10-9. They were like 70% to him. You know, none of them were really dominant.
Yeah,
but you could argue only Tyron Woodley won one round that was dominant in the fourth.
Yeah, how are you going on the split decision?
Showed he can box.
Yeah, that's
good. Showed he could box.
Yeah, it was good. On the back of that, how many weeks or years of straight training would you need to beat Jake Paul in fight?
I want to hear Strongies. Strongy. What's Strongy making?
I haven't watched him box because I don't like to waste my time on trivial sports. But I don't know. How long has he been training for? You probably need like a couple months.
3 years.
Mate, if it was a professional boxer, if it was an actual boxer, I'd say, nah, you don't need to. Like, he's not a professional boxer. He's fighting fucking 50-year-olds and like retirees. So
Strongy's gone 3 months. All right, 3 months, Strongy. Fair enough.
I'm saying like if you train like 6 hours a day for 3 months, you'd be pretty fucking good at something.
Yeah. I would say I'm going to go a year and a half. I'd say a year and a half.
I'd argue just because Jake Paul's loaded and he's a big name, he would have access.
I'm saying you get access to Mayweather. You get access to the
Mayweather.
Okay. Like you're getting access to like everything that he has. Like
I don't know. It's hard because if I train for 3 years, I don't think I'd be able to go close to a UFC fighter in a boxing match. So take me a fucking while.
All right, fair enough.
And I reckon Jake Paul's doing well. And you look at Logan Paul as well.
Yeah,
Jake looks 10 times a better boxer, in my opinion.
In reality, boxing and UFC are completely different.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there's not even correlation
I'm talking about a UFC champ that had decent striking. If I trained boxing for 3 years, I still think I'd get pumped by a UFC fighter in a boxing match.
I still think the fights are just they're rigged. They're rigged fights.
Yeah.
Like
I was less inclined to say that one was rigged.
He's offering these guys money, like a chance to at like a lot of cash that for him isn't much. But like these guys is more than they would have made in their time.
I don't think it was rigged. Like Woodley was paid to lose, but I think because of the amount
that
of
one judge, who was that one? That one judge who went Woodley's. I don't know. He's probably like getting paid. What the heck was that? How's it? That fight wasn't
no round that Paul won was really dominant.
Yeah,
some of them were 50-50s.
Anyway, talking about fights, Bryson DeChambeau just wants to have a little beef with anyone at the moment. After losing in a playoff,
stop fucking walking.
Sort of was disrespectful to the winner, eventual winner, Patrick Cantlay. Now they're going to be teammates in the Ryder Cup. And then I think yesterday, the PGA commissioner came out saying anyone who says Brooksy will be thrown out of PGA Tour events. So
yeah,
I don't know what's going on there with Bryson.
Johnny, all I'll say is this: if the West Tigers can make a documentary that pops, imagine what the Ryder Cup or President Cup team could do. It'd be like an awesome reality show. Get Bryson in there, get Brooksy, get Patrick and Brooksy, get DJ in there.
It'd be like the Kardashian.
You wouldn't be able to make up that script.
Nah, you couldn't.
Get a little Big Brother camera in there.
I assume the doco's finished. Like it seemed like the last episode.
Yeah, they stopped filming.
Yeah, I didn't find it that good. I didn't
rate the doco. Like everyone's saying, it's pretty good. Like there was no storyline.
Yeah, in terms of like sporting docos, it's a good Australian sporting doco for an Australian sport. It's the only other NRL doco. So like, I mean, I think a lot of people are happy to have it, but in reality, I don't.
I don't think
it was anything special. I thought the editing and the filming, like the quality was just shit. There was like, you never knew, like you were never really inside like big moments in the dressing room. It was just mad, like blown up, for a game.
If you compared that to something, the test on Amazon, you'd argue the test was a lot better.
I didn't. See, I didn't. I still don't know. I still think The Last Dance is the best doco I've watched.
Last Dance is pretty good. There's a new one out. There's a new one out on Netflix, Malice in the Palace. About Indiana, like a brawler at Indiana Pacers, where we saw like people get season bans for like punching people in the crowd. It's a bloody good one. It's a bloody good documentary.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting insight into the club and the develop. Like I think it definitely took the pressure off like Mads and Justin Pascoe.
Yeah.
Or Pascoe, but like in terms of the quality of it, it was all right. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Like if I hadn't watched it, I don't think I'd give a shit. I don't think it really changed it that much.
I just thought my last thoughts on the Tiger doco was it all just looked like halftime talks and full time and before game talks.
There was not enough of the game. Like there was not enough of games, I reckon.
Or trainings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the other point from that was that like they just couldn't do that. They couldn't go into like team talks and like any of the analysis and strategy that you see in other docos because it was still a season, which I think was a bit of a shame. I think if we'd run it the whole season and done one every 2 weeks and done like 10 episodes.
And released it after the season.
They should have, just released it
after. It would have been a bit more interesting.
To be fair,
but,
you'd look at the tactics they're using and just do the opposite, wouldn't you? The way the Tigers go.
It's benefiting other coaches. They're going, Madge is doing this. We can't do it now.
We do the opposite.
We're not doing it anymore.
No, I've said it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Madge isn't at the club just for the Tigers to make finals. Like that's not the reason he's there. Madge is there to be like the first coach since Tim Sheens to implement like a plan and a vision to make sure the club is like sustainable in the future.
Good implementing. There's real talk that he's
got. I think Tim Sheens is coming back.
Tim Sheens is coming to his head as football. I don't think there could be changes, but I don't think Madge's appointment is about just finals. I think like that's part of it, and they'll want to see results. But Madge will 100% be there next year. I reckon. I'd be very surprised if he's not.
He's a good coach. Yeah. We'll get into our round review. I think first game of the round. Oh, hold on. Yep, all good.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Okay, no. Okay, right. Yeah. I thought I froze for a second. Anyway, first game of the round last week. Knights v Titans it was a very good game. That was pretty much, I think whoever won that sure locked up their spot on the 8. Knights, locking up 7th. They look Titans. They will need a good result this weekend and a few matches to go their way.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on how those two teams looked going into finals?
Oh, actually, no. You guys go first. Tell me what parts of the game.
I thought it was like
just the Knights looking disappointing again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, but that equally both.
They're winning games, but looking shithouse.
I think that's the takeaway.
Yeah, I think
Jake Clifford. He's a shining light now.
Yeah,
he's stepped up big time since coming from the Cowboys. He had another great game.
It was good
on the Thursday.
I think looking at it from like going into next week in the finals, when Para was on a bit of a weak run, well, we say weak run before last week, I would have said there might have been competitive, but now I think top 6 is pretty much just going to walk. Like that first 2 weeks of finals, week of final is not really going to matter that much. Like there's 5th and 6th are just going to roll over whoever's set the natives.
Oh, we don't. Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah.
And for Feeder, he's too good to be off the bench. He just came on and
been saying that.
Pump blokes. And
I think we've said that previously.
Like, I remember for Feeder's try, where he could have easily just given the ball to Corey Thompson, but he's like, "Nah, I'll carry 4 blokes on me to score." I don't know.
Yeah,
Biden's still really in the realm of possibility to make the 8. The 2 results that they need in their favour are pretty likely.
Yeah, so I saw I think it's on Instagram. The NRL
they need to win well against the Warriors.
No, they just need Cronulla.
They're 20 point.
Yeah, they need a 20
point difference.
Yeah, but I don't think Canberra Chooks is going to be as much of a contest. I think Chooks,
really?
I think Chooks will beat Canberra fairly well, even without Joey.
Oh, I don't know. I'm a bit skeptic on the Chooks this week. I don't know, but I don't know. Next game of the round. Wait, am I? Why do I keep freezing?
I'd say easily, like comfortably. They've got a whole starting 13 here of guns as well. Like I mean, what I don't get what you're trying to say. Like Para were just playing shit house. They had a full strength team. They're just playing shit house.
Yeah,
just for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but like this is completely what Chooks are going through is completely different. This is literally one of the worst like injury hit seasons I've seen for a team ever. I reckon it's crazy. They've been with players the entire season, and barely a player's come back.
Yeah, I thought talk about.
You're on mute.
Yeah, Latrell Mitchell, the Latrell Mitchell stuff overshadowed how shit the Chooks were.
I think they can
throw out.
I think they had a chance to like. There was definitely a momentum turn just before that Latrell incident, and then I don't know. Like I would have thought it would have helped the Roosters, but it didn't after that Latrell incident. But yeah, there was definitely they were definitely back in the game. It was 24-12 and Roosters attacking. Like I don't know how, like it's going to be an interesting game for sure.
Mark Nichols is the best player in the comp. Just pointing that out.
Little double.
I like.
He's the best player in the comp off the field as well.
Yeah,
he's captain this week, so shout out to Marky Nichols. How old is he? So Oh, no.
28.
That's Mark. He's
Mark
28.
Nichols.
When did he start? Weird.
Marky Nicholas.
I want to try and get. I do not remember Mark Nichols.
Oh, sorry. Mark Nichols is 31. Mark Nichols is 31.
What's the first thing that pops up when you write Mark Nichols and then spacebar?
It's a wife. Wife.
All right. Wait,
is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Not surprised. Yeah, not surprised.
He's Bradman. He's a Bradman.
Yeah,
anyone else
he's got a good fucking batting average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone else think it's a good a bit of a feel good story? He played between 2012 and 2015, 19 games for the Raiders. 2016, 2017 played 9 games for the Storm. And now in the last 3 years, he's played 77 games. So he's one of those blokes that's like bided his time in reserve grade for fucking ages. Could have easily given up the game. Yeah. So this weekend, he's going to walk out the greatest player of the round, greatest player of the weekend, and captain's house, one of the oldest teams in the comp.
Yeah.
Big weekend for the Nichols family.
Yeah. Oh, she'll be happy.
They'll be up.
Yeah.
And he's got a good missile as well. He'll be getting what could go wrong for his fans.
This guy's living the dream. Living the dream.
He's living an alternate universe. We're all stuck inside, can't do anything. Mark Nichols out there, pulling tens, captaining money, and scoring 2 tries in a game. Fucking dead. He's won the lottery without buying a fucking ticket.
Damn right. Damn right.
Yeah. On him.
Well,
on the back of Raiders' performance, how do we see them going against Chooks this week? Raiders taking down the Warriors 28-16. I think that's Warriors' season over.
Yep.
Yeah. I reckon the Warriors are there and thereabouts. I think they've kind of got to sort out what they're going to do with their halves next year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the difference almost was RTS. Like in comparison to the game that they played earlier in the year.
Oh right,
RTS saves that try.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's 28. The scoreline should have finished 22-16.
16.
Unlucky blows out. But the difference was literally that, like 2 months ago, RTS dives in the corner, knocks the ball out of Rapana's hand, and it's a game winner.
Yeah, that game was 100% in the balance too.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 minute to go, obviously. So,
I think, that's the game that the Raiders want, is that grind. Then they don't want to go 2 or 3 tries apiece with other top teams in the comp, but with the Raiders, with Warriors, they are happy to.
We were saying last week that Chad Townsend's fairly average. I think as soon as Chad Townsend went off, Warriors sort of fell apart. I think Chad Townsend was like playing really well.
I think Chad Townsend is a gun, but
fair enough.
Don't put words in my mouth, Tony. I never said that.
No, me and Strong are saying Chad Townsend was not 500k player.
I think 800k. He's on 800k, mate, not 500.
Oh, 650. He's on 650 or something like that.
No, he's on 1.6 for 2 years.
I think he's on 3 million for 2 years. 2 million for 3 years. I don't know. I'll check.
Yeah, he's on a lot of coin, and he's in the back end press. So I didn't think it was a good signing, but I fucking rate him.
Yeah, he's very good.
I just think it makes sense that you have Scotty and Did in there, but I think Chaddy's a gun. I love him.
All right, sorry, boys.
I've never said I don't like Chaddy. I think he's a freak.
Yeah.
I think he's like the closest 7 to like Adam Reynolds that there probably is in the comp in terms of the similarities in the way they play, what the fundamentals of their halfback game is.
Like an old school halfback that steers the side around.
Yeah, old school halfback that manages the game, not going to come away with 3 or 4, like a big running meters or a lot of try assists, but like without him, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just back on the game, C&K clicked back into gear.
Yeah, he was good.
And Rapana re-signed to the club after being a standout again. He's been great for like the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Must have been that massage from Ryan Jones's, I think.
Yeah.
About that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was probably that game was probably the way we thought it went, and 12-0 probably 12 point score line probably represents what most people thought was going to happen.
Yeah, Judy. Yeah, we're playing. Our starters are Joey Lussick, Hayes Dunster, Fergo, and Sean Lane on the bench.
Yeah, I'm watching it. Why?
Because we've gassed out in the finals every time.
Nah, I'm sorry. Okay, when people talk about resting players and shit, I'm okay with resting players when the game's a dud. When it's if it's like a 6 versus 14, then go for your life. Don't rest players when it's 5th versus 1st the week before finals. Don't do that.
Couldn't disagree more. This is just in reference to Parramatta, but
don't rest.
Because of our lack of performing in finals, it's been perennial now for 4 years. We've gassed out. Last year in COVID, we lost to Storm and we had to play Souths next week, and we had 4 outs. We had Jennings on game day, and then we had Niokore and both our wingers. And the blokes that came in weren't prepared at all, especially because of COVID. They weren't playing. And because of COVID now, they're still not playing any reserve grade. So give everyone a run for the contingency.
Oh, no. I did a bet Para plus 23.5.
Yeah, so did I. That's exactly my bet, and it's safe. Safe as houses.
Well, we know when you're betting on it, it's not winning. So.
No, but I've chucked it in like a 20-leg multi.
Not with your team.
Get enough.
What game are we moving on to next? Dragons Cowboys.
Oh no! Oh yes.
What?
It's just I bet it on Grigor Dimitrov, but instead of
it voided it.
It voided it when he was down 7-6 love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sportsbet. I'm on.
Dragons.
That is clutch off.
Dragons Cowboys. Cowboys finally breaking the streak. They look fairly decent.
I reckon the Dragons seriously need to consider
Oh no, they've given up their season 4 weeks ago. They just know.
Yeah,
I think for the future, they seriously need to consider playing Southern, Amon, and Sloan starting next year.
Oh, Sloan has to start. Sloan's a freak.
They were all
and Amon.
Yeah.
Sorry for pronouncing it as Amon if it's not Amon, but gun.
Yeah, he's a gun.
They're all guns. I thought they were all super impressive, and if I was running the Dragons, I'd say, fuck it, you boys are done in the reserve grade. You're going to start all next year, and we're going to build a team.
Yeah, I'm concerned. The concern is blooding a lot of youth at the same time. I feel like when Storm do it, they do it one by one.
Yeah.
And it gives more of an opportunity.
I think when you look at the Dragons, though, Griff is building a fairly experienced team.
Yeah.
He's not signing
it's a money ball experiment.
It's good. It's good when other clubs pay for your players.
Yeah, I think one they got Mozemba as a fucking bargain, but there's other players there. I think they've just got a lot of mid-agers, and you can put young guns with mid-agers because they know there's not a lot of pressure on the young boys. So
I get concerned if you start playing too many young guns at once. Dragons have a lot of them, but blooding them all at the same time won't do them that much good.
Well, do you think Dragons are going to contend next year?
No.
Yeah. So then why don't you get 24 games into a bunch of 20-year-olds? You may as well. You should. That's how you develop players. You don't just keep them in reserve grade. They don't develop there. You need to get first grade experience into them.
Yeah, I don't mind that idea. I think Dragons looking over the next 3 or 4 years, they might look all right. Cowboys don't got that breaking streak. Good win for Tommy Didden first as a starter. Sharks v Broncos. Sharks. They needed that win to stay alive, and I think if a lot of things go their way this weekend, they should be
making me age.
Well, there's only one thing that needs to go. They clap Storm too easy.
All we've got to do is turn up on the weekends and win. And they're through.
Yeah.
They can't get knocked out if they win.
Yeah, they're through if they win.
Well, but even if they lose, they can still get through, I think.
Yeah.
With results going their way. But Broncos, they still look fairly impressive, I thought, for Broncos.
I mean, Milf, I reckon people should just sign Milf on like a loan deal for 1 week every week to make him feel like he's playing for a contract.
Pass the parcel every time.
Yeah, just pass the parcel. All 16 clubs go around with Milf, and you just trade him around each week. And you know, like, it's a bit shit because you're going to cop playing Milf 1 week, but 1 week you're going to have Milf off contract, and Milf's going to turn up and play like a Daily M 3-point game. He's dude, he's so good. Like,
he's good.
I didn't watch much of the Sharks game, but the one from 2 weekends ago, I watched that and I was going like, holy fuck! I barely remember how good Milf is. He's a gun.
It's either that. You either got to play past the parcel with him, or if you sign him, you've got to alternate between pup and first grade. So if he tears up, you can't play him again. You've got to go, all right, you've torn up, have a go on the Redcliffe Dolphins, and then come back to us next week. And
Redcliffe could be playing next year.
Like
We know the consistency.
South. Give him a South.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think, look, if I'm Milf, I'm looking at that 7 jersey at the Rabbits next year, and I'm going, that's mine, easy.
The problem is you're sort of playing 2 Cody Walkers in a team then when you get to Souths.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. I think Souths are going to seriously struggle without Reynolds. But if I'm Anthony Milford, and I go, I've put these 2 games in, I would 100% be confident I'm going to get. If he plays like that week in, week out, he'd start at Souths.
Just quietly, Wayne Bennett, he's just left the club with no 7. It just leaves next year.
Slut for doing that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you kind of like undervalue what the next coach has to go through. He goes, I'll put him in a good spot, but I'll just somehow fuck him up, like low key fuck him up.
At the Broncos, it will see bold. If you look at the team from the year before with Wayne to the year after, it was almost identical.
Yeah, but
results were
like no. Let's be real here. Like
Souths are handling it a lot better.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks of 29.
No Passover.
Yeah. All I'm saying is like on the back of that
Passover between Wayne and Steve.
Yeah, on the back of that,
the Rabbitohs, they've got their coach like doing everything in accordance with Wayne Bennett. They're there together.
Yeah,
like at Broncos, they didn't have that.
On the back of like 2019, the first 2 games of the 2019 season, Broncos. 2020 season, they won the first 2, and they were actually like it was just that 6-week period of lockdown that just done them in. I don't even know what happened, and then they just
started like fucking reading someone at the club. Boys started getting on the bags, and it all went downhill. Self-explanatory, and then he started selecting weird teams and started dropping players that were there in finals the year before.
Yeah. All right, Chucker. Here you go. Here we are.
Woohoo!
Yes. Around it.
Johnny, stop the podcast here and we'll make a new one. This is a 2-hour fucking just a 2-hour novel, and you're all gonna fucking appreciate.
Go on.
I have been appreciated. Just to clarify, for the last month, I have, for no reason, no personal reason, said that Para are still going to do work in finals and push teams, and everyone was writing them off. And then this week, they come out and fucking beat the Storm. Thank you, boys.
No, not beat. They dominated the Storm in every stat you could, except for line breaks. It was just nice.
The only positive I'm taking out of this is Mitch Moses is not playing a better game ever in his career. Like, he was free. Like, that was his limit.
Well. The whole spine was really good, and then you got Junior Paulo and Fergo tearing up as well. I just loved it. Junster talks a lot of shit about Mitchy Moses. Fucks your club up. Talk shit about Gutho. Fucks your club up. Talk shit about Fergo. Oh, he'll just score a double.
Okay, you talk about Fergo as well. So don't think like I'm the only one talking about.
Then I saw Hayes Dunster try to play right wing, and I saw Michael Oldfield try to play right wing, and I was like, "Get me back, Fergo, please." So Fergo, I apologise greatly.
I just
re-sign him urgently.
On the Melbourne Storm, I'm sort of happy that we lost in a little bit of a way. I think
you played pretty mediocre.
But I think just a lot of pressure just was taken off after that. So like, I would be a bit more disappointed. Like, on one hand, Eels did have a blinder, but also Melbourne did play poorly. But I think that was probably the reset we needed. And I think going forward, even though I'm a massive Harry Grant fan, I am a big Harry Grant fan. I think Brandon Smith's just got to start, and then Harry Grant's got to come off the bench. I think
what about Hines as well? Hines starting, Pap?
No, I still think Pap's the one to go forward.
Pap, with all due respect, Pap looked pretty shit house on the weekend.
Look, see, I'm sympathetic for Pap because, like, it was unrealistic. I think for a lot of people, when you get a serious injury, there is a bit of like mental scar tissue going back in. And I'm
especially with the head.
And like, I think it's good faith by Craig to like work him back into the team. And I think it'd be a bit stiff to just like leave him cold turkey with no footy. Because
the worst thing you could do is just like take him out right now. Like,
the worst thing for Pat would be for him to stop playing footy because it's like I think it would be pretty bad for his development and his like morale as well.
Yeah. Like, any last thoughts on that game?
Yeah, what I'll say is the Hitgrave hypothesis lasts another week. Now, this is when it comes to the test. We've rested 12 of our starters, but Keegan Hitgrave is starting. So what I'm saying is that's all irrelevant because Hitgrave's in the side, we win, and we win well.
Yeah, but if they do lose, I reckon it's because Keegs has to be on the bench, Jack.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
That's heavy.
You need Keegan to play a solid 15 to 17 minutes. That's all he needs for it to come.
Mate, change the game.
Yeah.
You can't have him starting. Can't have him starting.
It might just fucking ruin the whole thing.
Or it could double down. We don't know. Could double down.
It could make us win 13 plus. Who
knows? Next game in the round, Seagulls versus Bulldogs. To be fair to the Bulldogs, first half, very good. They were very good. Like, they shut down Turbo very well. And I think going forward, to make Turbo right now, Manly right now with Turbo is about a 9 out of 10. To make him a 10 out of 10, they need to use whoever's on the left side. I think Foreign, Schuster, Travojevic. Foreign and Schuster need to use Turbo as a decoy more and more because if you use him as a decoy, because everyone's like on the weekend, that first half, Dogs were just expecting him to get the ball but on the back of sweep plays every single time. So they were able to shut him down fairly well. But if you use him as a decoy, Manly could easily go to be a top premiership team because he's that good that you don't need to give him the ball every time because people are expecting it. So that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know if you're seeing it doing the rounds, but the Turbo comparison from his stats for the previous 3 years, compared to the stats this year, I'm a bit skeptical. Turbo's just had a purple patch as well.
Yeah. Oh, he can't he's not going to keep this up for another 2 years.
I think if he kept up the form for another year, I think that you could say he's going to keep up for the rest of his career. Then it would be undoubtedly that Turbo is the greatest player of all time if he played like this for the rest of his career.
Oh, no. No shit.
But the only thing is, can you be the greatest player of all time without winning a premiership?
He will. He'll probably will. He will win one.
But, I don't know.
Either way, I think Turbo at the moment, it's probably helped that he hasn't played every game, and it's helped there's been like prolonged breaks in his game.
Sure.
And I think that definitely contributes to the season he's had, and also the teams where he's like gone big as well.
Yeah,
He scored 4 hat tricks. I don't think one of those hat tricks has been against a side in the top 12.
two against the Bulldogs. I think one against the Tigers, and then someone else.
Yeah.
I just feel like for Turbo to maintain his form, he needs to make sure that during the preseason he has another race at the Corso.
Chucker's going to be down there waiting.
Beat him by some fucking punter on the streets. That gets him fired up for the season.
So it needs to be quick. So
and maybe another bathroom slip, just to give that hammy
bathroom slip.
I don't know. After seeing Brando's bathroom, the Cheese's bathroom, I find it a believable story now.
Yeah,
I thought it's a bit of Dumb and Dumber. If Tommy and Brando, for any reason, I don't think it will ever happen, they're roommates together, get the fuck out of the hotel. Because something bad's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. 100%, I reckon those two in a hotel room by themselves, Dumb and Dumber. Shower will break. One of them will fall, and the bathroom in the fucking hotel room below.
Does that make Brandon Smith a better player than Turbo? When Turbo slips, he breaks his hamstring. When Brandon slips, he breaks the glass.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
I think you know what?
I think Brandon Smith's looking at the Dally M this year.
I think Brando Smith breaking the shower glass is a bit of a metaphor for Johnny, who's been given chuck shit for a long time about Para. Para come out and romp Melbourne. Maybe what Brando is, it's a bit of a don't throw stones in glass houses with stones.
Okay, we have no.
Don't throw cheese in a glass house, mate.
We are not in the same boat as Para.
That was Johnny leaving conversation 70 minutes into the game. He didn't even have faith in his own team to come back down by 12.
Okay, it wasn't 70 minutes. It was
I watched the Tigers play Panthers on the weekend, full 80 minutes. You didn't even watch Storm play Para.
No,
I watched it.
But you had no faith after 70. You knew, oh, fuck, Para's too good.
Oh,
good.
Sure. Yeah. All right. We'll go with that. Panthers v Tigers, last game of the round. Look.
How good is Stefano Tikamanu?
Without him,
so good.
I would not have faith in the Tigers.
Stefano. I'm curious. to the reason, like the true reason he left Para, or why Para let him go.
I think the true reason is that the Tigers got in his ear nice and early and offered him and said, like, we have a vision for you to be like
and Swangy, this is your point earlier with like the player contracts. You wouldn't have Stefano. You're going, oh, shouldn't the club be compensated if their junior players go somewhere else? You've got Stefano, and look how good he's been for you.
Insane compensation, like to receive compensation. I still support the idea of a draft system in the NRL. Like, give it 5 years, implement good pathways, and it would mean that players from those teams, like, you're actually getting good players when you're in the bottom. It's you got to the bottom table can't be the same for like 4 to 5 years. You don't want that.
Well, that's what I'd rather, before draft system, I'd rather relegation and just make New South Wales and Queensland Cup combined as like a second division. I reckon it'd be so much better, like so much more entertaining. Think about it, like you just get rid of the bottom four.
Just get rid of Tigers,
like the bottom 4 teams. You get rid of the bottom 4 teams, and so like it's 12. Yeah, so top 12 in the top division.
I just can't see it working because so many of the clubs. So many of the New South Wales and Queensland club teams are feeders to NRL teams. Imagine having Melbourne Storm and then Melbourne Storm's feeder club. It's just a conflict of interest.
What do you mean for like draft sides?
No, if there's relegation.
I think relegation is a stupid idea, and I don't think Australians get around it at all. I think they think it's stupid.
Yeah, but that's because Australia is stupid with sport like that. I just think relegation's hectic, guys.
Do you realise football's the only sport where there's relegation in the world? There's only one sport in the world where a team gets relegated.
Yeah, that's why it's the biggest sport in the world.
It has nothing to do with it being the biggest sport in the world.
But like the fans are like you care a bit more. What? You say easy.
You need the least resources to play that sport, and it's the most common.
Here we go. Here we go. It's.
What do you mean? Of course it's the easiest sport to play in the world. Like
you could argue
you don't need any.
NRL is pretty similar.
Yeah, but these games aren't big in any other country. Like everyone in the world knows about football, and you can play it with basically anything. It's like that's why it's the biggest sport in the world. It's also like the oldest sport in the world as well.
I'm talking about like in terms of fan engagement and stuff. Like you don't get better fans in the world than football fans. Like especially like.
How did I go to this? Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he went to this. I think
I don't rate your
relegation. But you can do it because all the clubs are independent.
Yeah.
All their second league teams are still independent. Have their own bodies.
I don't want to see it either way. I don't think you can relegate without having like 3 fully professional divisions. Like that's why it works in football is because every division's professional. Like you can play like fourth, Division 2 football in the UK, like 3 division. Yeah, and you're still a professional footballer. Whereas if you play New South Wales Cup in New South Wales, you're playing with semi-pro, pro, and amateur players.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there's literally like not enough people to play the game. I think for Australian sports is like the base reason, and I just don't think Aussies get around it. Like, I don't think they've seen teams relegated.
Fair enough. Should we do our tips for this round?
I want to get back into this. Stefano is a fucking freak. Stefano, can we get around that? And whoever said that Stefano shouldn't, like, when he made New South Wales camp, everyone was like, "Who's this?" Those guys are a bunch of fucking armchair nuffies. Get back. Could be a couple of there. We get around that. You know, we love our fans, but they're armchair nuffies.
Yeah.
So would you do you reckon Noff's been highly underwhelming this year?
I think the year that Noff had and the threat that he was for Tigers made it really easy for other teams to nullify Noff. I think
I reckon defensively he was vulnerable.
On the weekend, I thought defensively he was great. I think did you see the try saver on Matt?
Oh, the two were fucked, but
no.
The one on
no.
It was the one where he like croc rolled him to hold him up after he chased him down. It was
Burden. Yeah,
but it was Toto Burden. Yeah.
Yeah, but in that try, so he rushed up on kick out. He rushed up from his wing on kick out to put the pressure on kick out. Kick out still got the offload away. Noffo's on the ground as Matt Burden's made the break and he chases him down.
Yeah,
that was fucked.
That was fucked.
But nah, like I've watched a lot of Noff and like replays of how why so many tries scored down that edge, and I genuinely don't think it's his fault. Like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But I also think when your team's just doing shit and you have limited attacking weapons, it's very easy to nullify one and focus on one, like the most prevalent, which is Noff. Yeah, that's a fair call.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been quiet. Yeah, I agree. It's been a quiet year for him. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think with the Tigers, so much attention is on the coach. Their rosters, they play fair to what their roster is, in my opinion.
I don't think their roster's good at all. Like,
I don't think it's good at the moment. I think it will be good. The
spine's okay. The spine's definitely okay.
I don't know.
I think the props. I think there's the foundation for a very good, successful 5 to 6 years, but not necessarily in the next 2.
Need some signings.
There's 9 players. All plus on the weekend. This week there may be 10 or 11 that haven't played 100 NRL games. So not really any experience anywhere in the team.
My only issue is like Chuck said, it's an okay spine. Like no one's like darting out as this bloke can, because when you compare Tigers and
Brooks Brooks Dewey Laurie is a pretty good spine.
Like, it's good, but like
that's still 75% of it. Then you got Jacob Little or Jake Simpkin.
I think Jake Simpkin will be. I'll give Lids another 12 months because he's had so many injuries. He's had like 12-month injuries in his career.
But like, even when you say like Brooks Dewey Laurie, they're not like they maybe Brooks is in and around for the top 6 of their position.
Yeah, like, my point is though, Johnny, is their spine has the ingredients. Like what their spine is, it's not the issue at all. It has the ingredients to bode well as a top 6 side.
Yeah,
but there's issues. There are definitely issues in their roster.
I think
not the spine though. That's it.
I think Jake Simpkin gives good competition for Leeds. I think we still lack a really good ball playing 13, which basically all top 6 teams have, isn't like a very good ball playing 13.
When Twile plays 13, he's a gun. He's just.
I think Twile's a bit of prop, and he's like a 70 to 80 minute prop. But I think that's why Jackson Hastings been signed, is to play that like that much more, that can't almost Tyrone Peachy, but more running, considerably more running.
Yeah,
I think it's there.
Fair enough. Should we just get through our tips for this weekend, and then Strongy, you can divulge on the AFL for us. Raiders, Roosters.
Yeah, got it. Raiders, Roosters.
Roosters.
Yeah, Chooks.
I'm gonna go Raiders. Sharks, Storm. They do these ones.
Storm, but it's
Storm. Yeah, I mean, Storm rested quite a lot of players, haven't they?
Yeah, they have actually, but their side still looks alright. Yeah, they've rested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. Eels v Panthers.
Para win well.
It's going to be Panthers
plus
with the shit team.
Yeah, Panthers. Sorry, Chaka.
Keegan's there, like.
No, but he's starting.
It sounds special.
Yeah, Keegan.
Yeah, that is concerning.
Yeah, I mean, Broncos be nuts.
17 to 20 minutes.
Broncos be nuts.
Nuts.
Yeah, Newey.
Newey.
In another fucking unconvincing.
In another shit fight, I reckon.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling Broncos turn up for some reason.
Gus.
Cowboys, Seagulls. Seagulls, it has to be.
Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys 1 to 12. Power make top 4.
Yeah, right. Rabbitohs, Dragons. Yeah, Rabbitohs, Dragons.
Oh.
Rabbits. Are they rested? Oh, they've rested.
Their team's bad. I'm going Dragons.
Lucky Elias, the first Trinitarian to play in our.
Benji's going to want. Benji wants back the clock. 3 try assists.
This will be the headline. Greatest player of all time. In his first game as captain, wins well. 13 plus. 13 plus South.
Yeah. Who Corey Norman? South. Oh, right, South. Right.
Mark Nichols, mate.
It was a joke. Next game, Titans Warriors.
Titans.
Titans Warriors. Titans.
And then I'm actually going Doggies over Tigers for this game. In the last game of the round.
Doggies don't win.
Tigers win.
All right.
And I can show you my multi that is in progress.
All right, show us.
It's $360 odds. I've chucked my little loose change on it, $2 and 16 cents.
Bro, my fucking multi on the weekend didn't get up. Oh.
I don't know the timeline of this, but from now or where I am, so Dimitrov I got on, which was a void, and then I got on Batista, which is 1, and now I got Raiders at plus 12.5. Riley Opelka, Kane Ishikori, Carolina Pliskova, Storm to win by 10.5 points or more. GWS to beat Geelong. Book it in. Para at a line of plus 27.5, and that's $1.93. Sorry.
You're still outside the $1.90 line with plus 27.
Yeah. Newcastle Knights plus 16.5, $1.08. I don't even know why I put that in, but anyway. Cowboys plus 23.5, $1.93. New Zealand Warriors plus 19.5. Bulldogs plus 30.5.
He loves the covering the lines.
Lines. And that's it.
That's
it. And it's paying $360.
So where does that lose?
I'm trying to point out where it loses, and I don't know.
Alrighty.
The biggest value is $3.20, $3.12 in GWS. But they clap Geelong any day.
Yeah, that's fair. In the AFL string, Port taking down Geelong. There's a expected result, would you say, or
just quietly? Can you guys both agree that I've said the way Geelong play footy is shit for like the whole season, and I hate it?
Yeah, I think you have.
I don't know if their footy is shit or not.
No, but have I said that?
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I've said it, and guess what? Every fucking pundit this week is saying that Geelong's footy, the way they play, does not hold up in finals, and it was not good. And I was fucking right. They got absolutely drubbed.
Oh, they got flattened by Port, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, good on
43 points. Port,
if it's not GWS that win this year, I want it to be Port Adelaide. I don't know why.
You were just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Jack.
Who are you going for now?
Are you saying Port winning wouldn't be good?
I want the D's to win now.
Yeah, fair.
All the Lions. I hate everyone else in it.
I don't want a Melbourne team winning.
I want the D's to win, but yeah, I think Geelong grabbed. I think Lear, like he came off a bit of a well-deserved, like it was a deserved AA, but it was also contentious in some people's eyes. And then probably played the best first quarter of his life.
Yeah,
one of the most dominant quarters in finals by an intercepting player in a couple of finals.
I can't believe Swanee's got rid of him. The racist dogs. The racist fucking dogs.
Swan didn't really Lear allowed them to get Tom Hickey, so the trade made sense. But yeah, I think Geelong's got beat up around the ball. They've style didn't work out under pressure. And yeah, I think Geelong will struggle to get over GWS this week, even with Toby Green.
Yeah, good. Look at this multi though. Can I screenshot it and send it to you? It's actually getting up.
On that Toby Green, what were your thoughts on that?
I think if the AFL appeal it, he'll get 6 weeks.
What did he get now?
He got 3.
Yeah, and he's challenging it.
No, the AFL is challenging it.
Oh.
The AFL is challenging the tribunal call and going to appeal it, so it'll be the day after the grand final. Right, I said, I'll draw on a friend's opinion who got 3 weeks for Toby, and he got 3. I said I wouldn't be surprised if he got 6.
Yeah.
Or you just can't have it in the game. There's already too many problems at club footy level with umpires. Like you don't want the professional players doing it.
No, yeah, that's fair. And he's got a track record of being a bit of a grabber.
Yeah, he's got a bad. I love him as a player. I think he's a freak, but his track record's awful, and you can't do that to umpires. Like they're there. Like in reality, without good officials, you don't have a good game. So
can they beat the Cats with no Toby Green, or is it a tough ask?
Well, they beat the Cats 3 weeks ago. So, I think it'll be an interesting battle in the midfield. I think GWS probably have one of the most rated midfields going into the final. So yeah, it'll be a good game.
Timmy Taranto, I like him.
I love Timmy Taranto. He's one of my favourite players in the comp.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. I mean, Sydney lose to GWS. It's fucking abysmal. It's fucking abysmal. I mean, Callum Mills and Josh Parker were huge outs from the outset, but there were contentious decisions made by the selectors. And Sydney won. Sydney, it was probably the most dominant game of football by side, and they haven't won. And it kind of happened the last three weeks for the Swans where they absolutely dominated games. And besides the Suns game, it really didn't show on the scoreboard. And it happened this week, and GWS were like good enough to get a good start on them, and Sydney couldn't bring it back enough.
Well, there's always next year, Stromy. There's always next year. Melbourne v Brisbane. What were your Melbourne fairly dominant?
Melbourne probably played as best as they could in a first final, and you'd argue that Brisbane played as poorly as they could. Joe Danaher goes no goals for the first time this season. Harris Andrews, former All-Australian back, comes back in, and he just looked off the pace. So some questions around him. I think Brisbane will get up against the Dogs.
Yeah,
they do, but they've got to do a lot more right because besides the first quarter, it was no contest.
Yeah,
The score, the winner was never in question after the first quarter. It was just one-way traffic at one point. And then,
you touched on that. Doggies, you think they roll over Doggies, who won fairly comfortably over Essendon?
I think roll over the Doggies. I don't think it'll be a 40-point win. I think there'll be two to three kicks in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way the Doggies have found form in that first week's big.
Yeah.
Because the Doggies are running hot. They've got one of the best styles of footy in the comp. They play like high possession handball game, and it's hard to defend when it's going well. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a good second week of finals.
Yeah, for sure. Your tip to go on to win it from you?
Still the D's.
Still the D's. Fair enough.
If you're going to pick if you're going to be objective, it's 100% Melbourne.
Fair enough. Maybe it's going to be a Melbourne double, AFL and NRL. Who knows? Who knows? Could be. It was a good wrap up this week, guys. And we'll catch you all next week.